Hi, in this video, I'm going to start with the third chapter of 11th biology, that is plant kingdom. In this chapter, we'll be studying all the organisms which are placed in the kingdom Plantae in R.H. Whitaker's classification. So before starting with the members of this kingdom, let's first see what plants are actually and what are the general characters of the plants. So the term plant will represent or it represents the land photoautotrophs means वो organisms जो कि लैंड जमीन पे रहते हैं और लाइट को यूज करके अपना खाना खुद बनाते हैं photoautotrophs and they have differentiated roots stem and leaves. It means that plants in general means what they will have roots, they will have leaves, they will have stems. So the study of plants is known as study of plants. It is known as phytology. Remember, it is Phytology, phytology. Now, next we have some general characters of plants, the basic characters of the plants, which will be expected to be seen in almost all the members of this kingdom. So the first character is that these individuals are eukaryotic multicellular organisms. So the first point is multicellular eukaryotes. Now, in this kingdom, we will see some individuals which are unicellular and colonial also, like in the case of green algae and red algae. ग्रीन एल्गी और रेड एल्गी के कुछ ऐसे मेंबर्स देखेंगे जो यूनिसेल्युलर या कॉलोनियल होंगे, फिर भी उन्हें किंगडम प्लांटी में रखा गया है बिकॉज ऑफ देयर पिगमेंट्स, बिकॉज ऑफ देयर लाइफ साइकिल, बिकॉज ऑफ देयर स्ट्रक्चर. Second point, these cells will have the cell wall made up of cellulose. इनमें cell wall किसकी बनी हुई होगी? Cellulose की. So second point is cellulosic cell wall. Fungi में we saw that the cell wall is mainly made up of chitin, and in animals we will see that the cell wall is absent. Number 3, these organisms means the members belonging to plant kingdom, they will have a central vacuole in mature cells. जब cells plant cells mature हो जाते हैं तो उनके अंदर एक बड़ा vacuole center में present होता है, that we'll see in the cell biology unit. So next point is single central vacuole. Single central vacuole. इनमेच्योर सेल्स में वैक्यूल्स होंगे तो बहुत ही छोटे साइज के होंगे. So specifically in mature cells, they have single central vacuole in mature cells. Remember, in case of animal cells, vacuoles are either completely absent or are very small in size. So when we'll see the animal cell, we'll find that there are no vacuoles present in that cell. The standard cell diagram which is given in the NCERT also, you will see that there is no vacuole marked in the animal cell. Next is that here the pigments for photosynthesis are present in a specific structure, specific cell organelle that is known as plastids. So photosynthetic pigment in plastids, photosynthetic pigment, where it will be present in plastid. Now these pigments can be different types. We'll see in the individuals itself, like different algae groups have different photosynthetic pigments. Number 5 is principal mode of nutrition. Now, we know what is the principal mode of nutrition, the main mode of nutrition. It is photosynthesis. Most of the organisms here in this kingdom are photosynthetic. They prepare their own food, but there are some organisms which are parasitic in nature. Example, Cuscuta. We call Cuscuta as a plant, but it is complete parasite, means it will not prepare its own food. Okay, so we have this point, principal mode of nutrition. Principal means standard. Principal mode of nutrition. What it is? Principal mode of nutrition is photosynthesis. Clear? Now, next point is the individuals of this kingdom will have an irregular body, means they will have the branches. As we look at a tree, it is not in a regular form. It will have branches randomly, so they have irregular body forms. Number 6, irregular body forms. Number 7 is vegetative reproduction. So now we are talking about the type of reproduction, that is vegetative reproduction, and it is quite commonly seen in the plants. So number 7, vegetative reproduction is common. Vegetative reproduction is common. Means in the higher plants also you will see vegetative reproduction termed as vegetative propagation. Next is, if we talk about asexual reproduction, then it is found only in the algal groups and it takes place by the help of spores. Then in the bryophytes also, we'll see some members which are reproducing asexually. So asexual reproduction, algal group will have by the help of spores. Next is sexual reproduction has progressive evolution. So next point number 8, that is important. Progressive evolution in sexual reproduction. Means what is happening over here now? Here the reproductive organs are multicellular. If we look at the lower organisms, then they have unicellular reproductive organs, but now as we move to the higher organisms or higher plants, they will have the multicellular reproductive organs. Next is multicellular embryo formed from the zygote. So in most of the members of this kingdom Plantae, embryo is formed from the zygote, but exception is algae. In algae, embryo are not present, not in algae. So mark this point as star mark because the point comes in the form. The embryonic stage starts from, or embryo formation starts from which member of kingdom Plantae? And it starts from Bryophyta because algae do not have embryo formation in them. In case of embryo, the zygote will only form the new organism. Embryo formation is not there. Next point is alternation of generation. Another important point it is point number 10, alternation of generation. Now, what is this alternation of generation? So in case of these individuals of the kingdom Plantae, They will have an alternating haploid gametophyte and diploid sporophyte generation. Means एक बार तो हैप्लॉइड गैमेटोफाइट जनरेशन आएगी, फिर उससे किसका फॉर्मेशन होगा, डिप्लॉइड स्पोरोफाइट जनरेशन का, और फिर वो डिप्लॉइड स्पोरोफाइट जनरेशन वापस किसका फॉर्मेशन करेगी, हैप्लॉइड गैमेटोफाइट जनरेशन का. तो यहाँ पे ऑल्टरनेशन हो रहा है जनरेशंस का, वंस हैप्लॉइड देन डिप्लॉइड, अगेन हैप्लॉइड देन डिप्लॉइड. So this is known as alternation of generation, which is seen in all the individuals of this kingdom Plantae. And we'll see further about this alternation of generations later in this chapter itself. So let's start with the classification of kingdom Plantae, which includes basically 5 groups. So let's put the heading kingdom Plantae. And we all know what those 5 groups are. So number 1 is Algae. Number 2 is Bryophyta. Number 3 is Pteridophyta. Number 4 is Gymnosperm. And the last one, number 5, is Angiosperm. So these are the 5 groups into which this kingdom Plantae is divided. And now one important point which I have told in the classification in second chapter also, that Algae, Bryophyta, Pteridophyta, they are together known as cryptogames. Cryptogames, and gymnosperms and angiosperms are called as phanerogames. Cryptogames means hidden sex organs, and phanerogames means open sex organs or visible sex organs, just like in the case of angiosperms we can see in flowers. So we'll start with the first member of this kingdom Plantae, and that is Algae. So this term Algae was given by one of the common name which we have seen in this unit, that is Linnaeus. So term by Linnaeus. Next point, the study of algae is known as phycology or algology. Remember, plants was phytology, algae is phycology. Do not get confused between the two words, phycology or algology. Clear? Next, who is father of phycology? So father of phycology is Frisch. Father of phycology. Who is father? Frisch. Now, he wrote a book which is named as Structure and Reproduction of Algae. Next point is father of Indian phycology. Father of Indian phycology, and it is M.O.P. Iyengar. M.O.P. Iyengar. Now, these algae are found in various habitats, means अलग-अलग situations में ये find किए जा सकते हैं. For example, the terrestrial habitats, epiphytes means those who live on plants. Then endophytes means algae which live inside the plants. Epizoic which lives on animals. And one of the important example is their Cladophora. which lives on sloth beer in a symbiotic form. So I'll write this point here, epizoic, and the example is Cladophora. This Cladophora will live on a mollusk shell, and there is another algae which lives on sloth beer in a symbiotic relationship. Next is endozoic, which lives inside the animals, and the last one is parasitic. Parasites means which live on other organisms and harm them. Example is Cephalosaurus. Cephalosaurus, and it causes red rust of tea. Star mark this example and the disease it causes, because this is one important example asked in the exams also. Next, we have the general features of this group algae. So these algae are mostly aquatic, means found in water. Second point, their plant body is mostly haploid. We'll see some members of this algae which are having diploid plant body, but mostly they are haploid. So haploid plant body mostly. Haploid body mostly. Means it's not 100% haploid always in all the examples. Number 3, algae are surrounded by mucilaginous sheath. Their body is surrounded by mucilaginous sheath. Next, these algae have cell wall made up of 2 layers. The outer layer is made up of pectin and inner one is made up of cellulose. I'm star marking this point freehand as this is one important point. Cell wall, outer part is made up of, so cell wall, I'll divide it into 2 parts and then I'll write outer made up of pectin and inner made up of cellulose. Clear? Next point, these algae have multicellular organization, means they are made up of more than one cell usually, but they do not have tissue system. Tissue formation is not seen in the case of algae. So we can say they are multicellular. Number 5, as we'll see in the brown algae, they are multicellular, means made up of more than one cell, multicellular, but tissue system absent. Tissue formation will not be there. Tissue system is absent. Next is, these are photoautotrophs. As we all know, they prepare their own food, and the classification is done on the basis of pigments. So number 6 point is photoautotrophs, and then we have number 7, classification on basis of pigments. These pigments are used for photosynthesis, and this is one important point. I'll write the star marks now on all the points as they're important. So I'll star mark them together itself. Point number 8, universal pigments found in all the algae or all the plantae. Universal pigment. 2 are there, chlorophyll, A and beta carotene. Now, you have a question in the form, which is the universal pigment found in all the eukaryotic photosynthetic organisms? That time, your answer will be chlorophyll A. Listen the question carefully. I'll repeat the question. The universal photosynthetic pigment found in all the eukaryotic photosynthetic organisms, it is chlorophyll A. Now question comes, universal photosynthetic pigment found in kingdom Plantae, it is beta carotene and chlorophyll A. Because in the members of Protista, they had alpha carotenes. Now, next is point number 9, that is stored food. So generally in algae, the stored food is starch, but in different algae, we'll see different stored food. Like in brown algae, it is different. In red algae, it is different. And then we have the term pyrenoids. Pyrenoids are the structures which are found in the algae, and these pyrenoids are present in the chloroplast of the algae. Now, these pyrenoids are formed of proteins which are surrounded by starch. So, I'll write it with a different color as this is one important point. It is found in chloroplast, and these are proteinaceous bodies. ये प्रोटीन्स की बनी हुई होती हैं, जिससे चारों तरफ किसकी कवरिंग होती है? स्टार्च की, सराउंडेड बाय starch. Now, this is one quite confusing point which sometimes create problems in learning. So, I'll give you a hint to learn. Pi means proteins. Enoids means inside. Means that's what we are learning how. So, proteins inside surrounded by starch. That's how you can learn pyrenoids, pi, proteins, enoids inside, the proteins present inside and surrounded by starch. Hope you can now learn it forever without forgetting them. Now, the main function of pyrenoids is starch synthesis. Starch synthesis. So this is the general characters of the algae. Now we have the next character, that is reproduction. Reproduction. All the three types of reproduction are seen in algae. That is number 1, vegetative reproduction. This vegetative reproduction includes binary fission, when the algae are unicellular structures, so it is found in unicellular algae. Means those algae which are made up of single cell. Number B is fragmentation. In case of fragmentation, we know the algal body will break into small segments, and it is found in filamentous algae. Filamentous algae. Next, we have a second type of reproduction, that is asexual reproduction. So number 2, asexual reproduction. And here the asexual reproduction takes place by spores known as zoospores. By spores which are known as zoospores. These zoospores are usually flagellated and motile. Flagellated and motile. Now, next is The protection in unfavorable conditions is done by forming planospores, hypnospores, cysts, etc. So other forms of asexual reproduction which are done during unfavorable conditions. Unfavorable conditions, they are planospores. Another one is hypnospores, and other one is cyst, etc. Now the third type we have got is sexual reproduction. And sexual reproduction is of three types. One is isogamous. Number two is anisogamous. And number three is oogamous. We all have studied these three types, right? Isogamous, where male and female gametes are morphologically similar, and isogamous, where male and female gametes are dissimilar morphologically, and in case of oogamous, the male gamete is small and motile and female gametes are large and non-motile. That's how we differentiate the three types of sexual reproduction. Now we have the examples which are important here. So first we'll talk about the isogamous and the examples of the algae which reproduce by isogamous mode is Eulothrix. Another one is Ectocarpus. Another one is Spirogyra. And another one is Chlamydomonas. Okay, now remember here in the isogamous examples, they can have the motile gametes or non-motile gametes also. For example, in case of Spirogyra, they have non-flagellated gametes. Clear? Now next type is anisogamous, and here we have single example, that is Chlamydomonas again. And then we have the third group, or that is oogamous type, and the examples are Sargassum, another example is Volvox, another example is Fucus, and another example is Cara, and one more example is there, that is Chlamydomonas. Now here in case of Cara, I would like to tell you one important point. In case of Cara, they have their differentiated male and female reproductive structures. That is, the male one is known as globule, which is spherical in shape, and the another one, that is the female one, is known as nucleus. So this names to male and female reproductive structures are specifically given in the case of Cara. Remember, globules are the male reproductive structures and nucleus are female reproductive structures. Further about these structures you will study in your 12th portion in the reproduction part. Now the next we have got is the life cycle which is seen in these organisms. Life cycle. Now here they have both the phases present in them, that is gametophytic and sporophytic phase, and here these phases are independent. Clear? So gametophytic and sporophytic phases are independent. Gametophytic and sporophytic Prophetic phase independent. Clear? Next point, they have haplontic life cycle. Most of the members of algae have haplontic life cycle. Haplontic life cycle since their main body is haploid. Exception brown algae which have diplontic life cycle, and number 3 is embryo is not formed. As I told you earlier, embryo not formed. So this is about the life cycle of the members of algae. Next we have is criteria for classification, and as I told you, certain criteria were used for classification. Criteria for classification. And the classification is based on photosynthetic pigments. Number first criteria is photosynthetic pigments. The universal pigments will be found in all the algae, but there are some certain pigments which are found in this specific group on the basis of cell wall composition. Cell wall composition. And the third criteria is stored food. Stored food. Now, according to these three criteria, we have got four divisions. Number one is chlorophyta. Chlorophyta, that is commonly known as green algae. Number two is Phaeophyta. Phaeophyta, commonly known as brown algae. Next is number three, Rhodophyta, that is known as red algae. Number four is Xanthophyta, which are commonly known as yellow-green algae. Now, remember this point that different groups or divisions of algae are there apart from these divisions also, but the most important ones for us are Chlorophyta, Phaeophyta, Rhodophyta. It means we are going to focus mainly on these three divisions of the algae. There are more divisions of this algae, and now we'll start with the first one, Chlorophyta. Chlorophyta means green algae, and remember these are the most advanced algae, means ancestor of higher plants. Most advanced algae, or we can say ancestor of higher plants. Reason, they have pigments, they have stored food, they have the cell wall composition similar to higher plants. So these are the ancestors of higher plants. The pigments are chlorophyll A, that is a universal pigment. Then chlorophyll B is there, chlorophyll B, which I'm going to underline. Then we have carotenoids present. Next is these green algae are cosmopolitan in nature, means they are found everywhere in the nature. Cosmopolitan. Next is stored food. The green algae stored food is starch. Same as higher plants. Next, their cell wall is made up of cellulose or pectin. Cell wall, cellulose or pectin. Next point is forms of thallus, means forms of algae. Different forms are there. They can be unicellular, they can be colonial, they can be multinucleated structures, or they can be filamentous also. Unicellular means the body will be made up of single cell. Unicellular. Examples: number 1, Chlamydomonas. Remember, in this chapter, examples are very important. Learn all the examples specifically given in NCERT. Learn all the diagrams, their labelings, the tables given, as they are very, very important. So, first example is Chlamydomonas. And these Chlamydomonas are motile structures, means they will have flagella present in them. And the second one is Chlorella. Chlorella are non-motile structures. And remember, the Calvin cycle, C3 cycle of the dark reaction was discovered on these algae itself. Number 3 is Acetabularia. Acetabularia. These algae are the largest unicellular algae. Largest unicellular green algae. And then we have the the common name given to Acetabularia, that is umbrella plant. Umbrella plant, it is largest unicellular algae, and an experiment was done on this algae, that is Hammerling experiment. Hammerling experiment was performed on this algae, which is the largest unicellular algae, also known as umbrella plant. Then we have the second form of thallus, that is cenocytic. In this type of thallus, the cells are multinucleated, and the number 3 is colonial. Means now individual organisms will live in the colony. The colony have fixed number of cells, and example of a colony which has fixed number of cells is Cenobium. So one of the colonial member is Cenobium, number 1. In which the number of cells are decided at developmental stage or development stage of that colony. Another example is Volvox, the most important one, Volvox. Then we have Hydrodictyon, number 3. Hydrodictyon. Remember, Volvox are motile colony, whereas Hydrodictyon, also known as water net, These are non-motile colony. Non-motile colony. Clear? Now, next we have is the fourth form, that is multicellular filamentous forms. Multicellular or filamentous forms, and these multicellular filamentous forms can be unbranched. For example, we have Eleutheryx, which is commonly known as pond wool. Another one is Pyrogyra, which is commonly known as pond silk. These common names are important. Do learn them. Then we have the branched or heterotrichous branched filamentous structure. So B is branched. And the examples are Cara, Cladophora, Cara, Cladophora, Coelocete. These are few examples of filamentous branched algae. Then we have some thalloid or parenchymatous algae also, which have the example Ulva, that is C. lettuce. So the next or the last type is multicellular thalloid. Multicellular thalloid or parenchymatous. And we have the example Ulva, known as C. lettuce. So these are few important examples which you need to learn. And now we have some cellular features of this green algae cells. Number one is cell wall. Inner part is made up of cell wall. So inner cell wall is made up of cellulose. Outer cell wall is made up of pectin. Then they have the pigments like xanthophylls, which are luteaxanthin and vioxanthin, that is yellow colored. So the type of xanthophylls they have, xanthophylls are also pigment, and xanthophylls types are luteaxanthin and another one is vioxanthin. Here they have pyrenoids in the chloroplast, and the next point about the chlorophyceae or green algae is reproduction. So in case of reproduction, vegetative reproduction is done by fragmentation. Then asexual reproduction is done by zoospores. Asexual reproduction is done by zoospores. These zoospores are formed in the structure known as zoosporangia. Then we have sexual reproduction, and all the three types are possible in different individuals, that is isogamous, anisogamous, and oogamous. Right? Now, if we talk about the life cycle of different members, life cycle. Then the different life cycle possible are number one, haplontic, where the main body is haploid. Number two is diplontic, where the main body is diploid. And number three is haplodiplontic. Haplodiplontic. Okay. Before giving the examples of the individuals which have these different life cycles, let me first clear what is haplontic life cycle, what is diplontic life cycle, and what is haplodiplontic life cycle. So if in a life cycle only one stage is diploid, that is only the zygote stage is diploid, then it is known as haplontic life cycle. If in a life cycle only one stage, that is the gametic stage, is haploid, rest all the stages are diploid, it is diplontic life cycle. Now, if in a life cycle more than one stage is haplontic or more than one stage is diplontic, then we call it as haplodiplontic life cycle. Clear? Further in detail about the haplontic, diplontic, haplodiplontic, we'll see in the last part of this chapter, that is the life cycles or alternation of generations. Now, haplontic examples are Eulothrix. Another example is Pyrogyra. And one more example is there, that is Chlamydomonas. Then we have diplontic life cycle is seen in some members like the brown algae, sorry, the green algae, example Polyrepa. And in case of haplodiplontic life cycle, the green algae individuals are Ulva and Cladophora. So the most important examples are these three, that is haplontic life cycle. And we have the different life cycles examples also. Next is economic importance of green algae. So let's see the economic importance. And the first point is that they are used in the form of food. For example, chlorella. Chlorella is used in the form of food. It is a great source of proteins. Next is antibiotics are obtained from the green algae. Antibiotics like chloralin from chlorella. Chloralin from chlorella. Next is these green algae are used for food in space research. So they are used in space research. And they are taken there in the form of food and oxygen as a source of food and oxygen. Example, chlorella again. And number 4 is parasitic algae cephalurose. Parasitic algae which causes red rust of tea is also a member of green algae. Next we have a second group or second division of this algae, that is brown algae, Phaeophyta, also known as brown algae. The common name given to these brown algae are seaweed. And the most common example is kelps. These are eaten, also used as food, and these are known as the leafy structures because they have lamina and stipe present in them. So most of the Phaeophyta individuals are marine, or they are found in marine water. Next is they are multicellular branch filamentous structures in the lower brown algae. So lower forms have multicellular branched filamentous structure. Example, Ectocarpus. And if we talk about the higher Phaeophyta members or higher brown algae, higher forms, then they are branched parenchymatous. Branched parenchymatous structures. Examples are Fucus laminaria sargassum, Fucus laminaria sargassum. Then these brown algae are largest in size. Among all the algae found, these are largest in size. Like these kelps are very large, and the largest brown algae is Macrocystis. Star mark this name as the largest brown algae. Next, if we talk about the cellular features of the brown algae, then number one, the plant body is differentiated into three parts. Number one is lamina, also known as frond. These are leafy photosynthetic parts, leaf-like structures which perform photosynthetic part. Number two, or the second part of this body, is stipe or stalk. And it is a elongated tube-like structure which is called as trumpet hyphae. And number three is holdfast. Holdfast, it will provide the attachment to the substratum. So these are the three parts of this body of brown algae. Next we have is pigments. The first one is chlorophyll A. Apart from chlorophyll A, we have chlorophyll C. Now remember, in case of brown algae, the pigment is chlorophyll C. And now the next one we have is carotenoids, and they have beta carotenes and xanthophylls, that is fucoxanthin. So these are the photosynthetic pigments found in the brown algae. After pigments is stored food, which is again a characteristic feature. Stored food in the form of laminarin and mannitol. Here, now these laminarin and mannitol are the derivatives of carbohydrates, and the cell wall is made up of cellulose, and it has gelatinous coating of colloidal substances. So next point is cellulosic cell wall. with gelatinous coating. This is characteristic feature with gelatinous coating of colloid substances. These colloid substances can be like fucinic acid. Another example of colloid substance is alginic acid. And one more example is there, that is fucoidin. So remember these colloidal substances, they are important, especially the alginic acid, and these will form, the coating will form an outer layer which is known as the phycocolloids. So the gelatinous coating of colloid substances forms an outer layer which is known as phycocolloids. Now, these phycocolloids have their own functions. Number one function of phycocolloids is to protect brown algae against desiccation and shocks. Means against the environmental stress, in short we can say. And the second function is these phycocolloids are used in ice creams as thickening agents. Another characteristic point important for the exams. The next feature about the brown algae we have is reproduction. Now, if we talk about the reproduction in brown algae, then the first type we have got is vegetative type. And the brown algae have vegetative reproduction by fragmentation. Then we have the second type, that is asexual reproduction, and different methods of asexual reproduction are there. Number two is asexual. And here it is mostly done by the formation of biflagellated zoospores. So mostly by biflagellated means two flagella are present. Biflagellated zoospores. These zoospores are formed in zoosporangia. Okay, then another is there, that is in the sporangia, two forms are there. Two forms of sporangia are there. One is unilocular sporangia, which produces haploid spores. It produces haploid spores. And another form of sporangia is there, that is plurilocular. And it produces diploid spores. Such unilocular and plurilocular sporangia are found in Ectocarpus. Remember this example, unilocular, plurilocular sporangia are found in Ectocarpus. Then we have another form of asexual reproduction, that is by the formation of zoospores. These zoospores are pear-shaped. Characteristic feature, important one, pear-shaped with two unequal laterally attached flagella. Two unequal laterally attached flagella. So this is all about the asexual reproduction in brown algae, and the next we have is sexual reproduction, that is number 3. Sexual reproduction takes place by all the 3 types, that is isogamous, anisogamous, oogamous type, and the gametes formed here. Gametes are biflagellated, pear-shaped with laterally attached flagella. Important point it is. So gametes are pear-shaped with 2 laterally attached flagella. Now, next, if we talk about the life cycle of brown algae individuals, then mostly they have diplohaplontic and diplontic life cycle. So mostly diplohaplontic and diplontic life cycle. The standard example of diplontic life cycle is fucus. Clear? Then we have the economic importance of brown algae. Economic importance. And the first point is that they are used as fodder. Almost 70% of the marine brown algae are used as fodder. Next is we get alginates and alginic acid, which is used for manufacturing of soap, ice creams, polishers, creams from Laminaria fucus macrocystis. So what do we get? Alginates, alginic acid, which have various industrial uses. Next is we obtain iodine and bromine from laminarin and fucus. They are the great source of iodine and bromine. Laminarin and another one is fucus. Now, next we have some common names which you need to keep in mind. So the common name of sargassum is Gulf weed. Gulf weed, it is a free floating algae. Then we have is Laminaria, which is commonly known as kelps and used as food also. And another name is devil's apron. They are very long in size. Another examples of brown algae are Ectocarpus dictyota fucus. The next division of algae we have is Rhodophyta, that is number 3. Rhodophyta. These Rhodophyta are the most ancient ones. These are the most ancient ones. Algae, most ancient algae and commonly known as red algae. They are found in marine water. Marine algae. So exceptions are there. 2 exceptions we'll see. First one is Batrachospermum. Batrachospermum is found in fresh water. And another one is Porphyridium. porphyridium, which is found on land. So these are two exceptions of red algae which are not found in marine water. Another characteristic important point is that for red algae, and you can double star it, no motile stage in life cycle is found in the individuals. No motile stage. Whether it is reproduction, vegetative phase, asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction, in no stage they will have the motile stage. No motile stage in life cycle. Then these are multicellular structures, exception porphyridium, which is a unicellular algae. So mostly multicellular. And let's write the exception, which is unicellular, that is porphyridium in bracket. It is unicellular. Right? Now, next if we talk about the cell wall, then their cell wall is made up of cellulose and pectin. And along with that, it has xylins, mannans, galactose, polyuronic acids, polysulfate esters, etc. So let's write all the components of the cell wall. It is a complex structure which has cellulose, pectin, then it has xylins, mannan, galactose, polyuronic acid, and polysulfate esters. Polysulfate esters. Clear? Now, next if we talk about some of the red algae, then they form limestone and coral reefs with the deposition of calcium carbonate. So algae, these red algae are forming the limestones and coral reefs with the depositions. And next point is the pigments, another characteristic point, pigments. And the chlorophylls they have is chlorophyll A, of course, and apart from chlorophyll A, they have chlorophyll D. This is the characteristic pigment present in them. Then they have beta carotenes, and they have phycobilins, that is R-phycoerythrin and R-phycocyanin. R-phycoerythrin, and another one is R-phycocyanin. This R represents Rhodophyta, Rhodophyceae. These R-phycocyanin and R-phycoerythrin are similar to blue-green algae which we saw. Now, these red algae shows Gordikov's effect. Gordikov's effect means I have already discussed in the previous chapter. Gordikov's effect means the chromatic adaptations showing different colors with different wavelengths of the light. So if the red algae is present on the surface, then it will be showing blue color. And if it is present on the bottom of the water surface or water body, it will show red. So this is the Gordikov's effect, where organism will show different colors and different wavelengths of the light it is absorbing. Now one example is there of red algae which is blue in color, that is Batrachospermum. Batrachospermum. It is a red algae, but it is blue in color. Blue in color. Right? This color is actually because of the pigments present in them. Next is stored food, another characteristic point. Stored food in red algae, and it is Floridian starch. Floridian starch, also known as Synophycean starch. It is most primitive starch, and another forms is phycocolloids. Phycocolloids. Example, agar. Important point, red algae have agar. Another phycocolloids is carrageenan. And Flinori. These phycocolloids are present in the cell wall. Just like brown algae, they have these specific phycocolloids in their cell wall. Next, if we talk about the reproduction, then the first type, that is vegetative reproduction, is done by fragmentation. Then asexual reproduction is done by non-motile spores. Asexual reproduction by non-motile spores. Next, we have a sexual reproduction. And the sexual reproduction is done also by the non-motile gametes. Non-motile gametes. And the type of sexual spore they have is oogamous type. Oogamous type, where the female sex organ is known as carpogonia. Female sex organ is given the word carpogonia. So remember this term, what is a carpogonia? This is female sex organ which is similar to archegonia, and the male sex organ is known as spermatangia. Male sex organ is known as spermatangia, and this spermatangia will produce non-motile gametes or non-motile spores. Next is life cycle. Here the exceptions are there, that is exceptionally the life cycle of Polysiphonia is diplohaplontic. Next is economic importance. So let's write this point. Polysiphonia has diplohaplontic life cycle. Now, usually they will have this haplontic life cycle. In case of economic importance, the examples like Polysiphonia are source of bromine. Polysiphonia, it is a source of bromine. Then one colorless parasite on algae is there, that is Harviella. Colorless parasite. The next we have is Porphyra, which is an edible red algae. Porphyra, edible, used as food. Next is Gelidium and Gracilaria. Gelidium and Gracilaria, which are used to produce or get agar. Important point, star mark. Then Chondrus crispus. Chondrus crispus, also known as Irish moss. It is used to produce carrageen colloid, which is used as gelatin agent and for preparing capsules of medicine. So it gives carrageen colloid. Next we have is the Xanthophyta, which is a small division of this algae group. Xanthophyta, commonly known as yellow-green algae. Yellow-green algae, and here they are acellular cynocytic. Xanthophytes are acellular, means single cell structures which have more than one nucleus present in them. Cynocytic. Next is these are usually found in the moist soil. And the type of pigments they have is chlorophyll A, chlorophyll E. Apart from chlorophylls, they have beta carotene, and they have xanthophylls, which actually give them this yellow color. The stored food in them is leucosan and oil. Leucosan and oil, which are derivatives of carbohydrates, and one example is there, that is Vaucheria. This Vaucheria is one important example, and another one is there, that is Botrydium. So these are the two examples of Xanthophyta division of the algae. Other divisions are also there, but we are not going to study them as they're not important for our exam. And now we have this group name, that is Thallophyta. Thallophyta, I've introduced it already in the second chapter, but remember this Thallophyta will include algae, fungi, lichens, bacteria. Clear? These are non-vascular organisms, and they have non-vascular means no vascular bundles are present, no xylem phloem. They have unicellular and jacketless sex organs. One important character of the individuals found in group Thallophyta, they have unicellular and jacketless, or in bracket we can call it as naked also, means without covering, sex organs. Here the sex organs are without any covering, they are naked and made up of single cell. So here the type of meiosis is zygotic meiosis. Zygotic meiosis, where the meiotic division takes place in the zygote, and so there is no embryo formation in the individuals of Thallophyta, no embryo. formation. So these are few general characters of the thallophyta which are asked in the exams. And here we are done with the first group of kingdom plantae, that is algae. And now we have some questions to practice for today from today's topic itself. Let's start with the questions. Question number 1, group of algae in which sexual reproduction is absent. Group of algae in which sexual reproduction is absent. Options: think and answer, easy question, Cyanophyceae. Number B is Basilariosphyceae. Option C is Chlorophyceae. And option D is none. Now I'll give you a hint, simple hint. Just imagine or just remember, recall the common name of all these individuals or names I've given you: Cyanophyceae, Basilariosphyceae, Chlorophyceae. Then you'll easily get your answer. Question number 2 is, which of the following is a flagellated alga? Which of the following is a flagellated alga? Option A, Chlamydomonas. Option B, Ulothrix. Option C, Spirogyra. And option D is Acetabularia. What is the common name of Ulothrix and Spirogyra? Which is spawn wool and which is spawn silk? I hope you all can remember this point we discussed today. Next is true nucleus absent in. True nucleus absent in. Remember, when we talk about algae, we cannot ignore blue-green algae. Mucor. Option B is Vaucheria. Option C is Volvox. And option D is Enabina. So let's mark the answers for these first 3 questions. For question number 1, we need to find algae group which has sexual reproduction. Now, Cyanophyceae is what? Cyanophyceae is blue-green algae. Basilariosphyceae is diatoms. Chlorophyceae is green algae. Right? Now, green algae and diatoms are eukaryotic organisms, and all the eukaryotic organisms, whether it is a protista, whether it is a fungi, whether it is a plantae or animalia, they all have sexual reproduction. But blue-green algae is a prokaryote which will not have true sexual reproduction. So it will be answer. Next is having flagellated alga. So Ulothrix is spondwool. First, I'll tell you the common names which I asked you during writing the question. Ulothrix, spondwool, Spirogyra, pond silk, and the answer is Chlamydomonas. It will have flagella present on it, 2 flagella. Next is true nucleus is absent in. We know that true nucleus are absent in case of only the kingdom Monera. Mucor belongs to which kingdom? Mucor belongs to fungi. Then Volvox belongs to algae. Vaucheria also belongs to algae, that is yellow-green algae we just saw. And Enabina belongs to, sorry, I just marked them whether they are not answers. So Enabina is a prokaryote belonging to the kingdom Monera, and it will be your answer. It will not have true nucleus. Vaucheria will have cyanocytic conditions. Volvox is a colonial alga. Now we have question number 4. Question number 4, and the question is sexual reproduction in algae. Sexual reproduction in algae results in formation of option 1 is oospore. Do not hassle to answer the question, think and then answer. Zoospore. Option C is zygote, and option D is zygospore. Then we have question number 5. An alga which can be used as food for human beings. An alga which can be used as food for human is a chlorella. Option B is Spirogyra. Option C is Oscillatoria. And option D is Eleutheryx. Now, let's see the answers of these two questions, the last ones for today. Sexual reproduction in algae results in the formation of zygospore. Now, what is the zygospore? So, when the gametes fuse, fusion of gametes, it leads to the formation of structure known as zygote. Now, this zygote will secrete a thick layer or thick wall which acts as a perinating spore known as zygospore. So, the zygote will secrete a thick wall. This is a thick wall, and this walled structure is known as zygospore. What is the name of this walled structure? Zygospore, which act as perinating spore. Perinating spore, which will help to escape the unfavorable conditions, means it will help during the perination. It will help during perination. Then it will help in dispersal of the spore, and it will also help in multiplication. Clear? Now, the next question, the last one for today we have, that is question number 5. An alga which can be used as food for humans, and I told the example already in the theory part, that is chlorella. So that's all for today we have, and please like this video, Share with your friends and subscribe the channel if you haven't subscribed it yet.